150 West 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York. Catering for all occasions.
Pass me a flask, let me tell the things them. People never know the rum talk and me a sing them. Ali Brand the rum boss I represent. Remember Dilsham, Butchers Wine and Spirit Inc. Have all of the alcoholic beverages you need. From a pink to a anchor, Moscato, Merlot, Hennessy, Douce, Tiger Bone, Ginseng, Rare Nephew Rum, Appleton, Myers Rum, Stone Ginger Wine, Red Label, Taylor Port, Fairbanks, Mount Gay, Sangster, Rum Bar, Jamaica Brandy, Syrah, Grey Goose, Jack Daniels, Johnny Walker and more. You're drinking or joking, open hours. Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Address 104 South 4th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. It makes sense to save you dollars. Contact 914-699-7267. Email us at DutchessWineXpert@gmail.com. Must be 21 and over to drink. 40 minimum delivery. Drink responsibly.
Oh, plead my cause, oh Jah. I don't know what Julex I represent for Linkage Radio. 104.5 FM. I deaf them.
When you are hungry, come to Cooler Runnings Restaurant. Located at 1802 Nerid Avenue, corner of Wickham Avenue in the Bronx, we specialize in the best Jamaican and American cuisine, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We offer free in-house delivery, minimum $20 purchase, and we also have Uber Eats. We do barbecue Thursdays, fish fry Fridays, and seafood Saturdays. For more information, give us a call for our address and menu, 718-324-7484. Once again, that's 718-324-7484. Cooler Runnings Restaurant, simply the best Jamaican food.
Well, 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 well. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. Thursday, 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 Thursday. Welcome to Center Stage, everyone, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. This is Inside the Zone, the community platform where information is guaranteed, with yours truly, Lady D, Denise Gomez, your host, producer, and presenter. That's what I said. Thank you for joining me here on Center Stage. Center Stage is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Don't forget to check out my hashtags. ITZ Center Stage, hashtag Host Lady D, hashtag ITZ Radio. Email InsideTheZoneNYC@gmail.com. Catch me on my Facebook pages, Lady D Denise Gomez, and Inside the Zone, my business page. I'm also on Instagram, Lady D Denise Gomez. In this evening's edition of Center Stage, I feature Inspirational Zone, Music Zone, Fast Facts. May is Child's Month, and the theme is I Soar. My guest is 16-year-old Ethan O'Hara, a sophomore at Cheltenham High School in Pennsylvania. And then I'll be wrapping up the show with Know the Facts with Delia Farquharson. Let's Talk Wellness, Emotional Wellness Week here in Mount Vernon, starting from May 2nd to May 8th, 2021. I'm a Jamaican with a show with the Caribbean theme that includes people across the Caribbean and the world. It is broadcast on Linkage Radio 101.7, 104.5 FM. On my YouTube channel, Inside the Zone with Lady D. My connecting partners, Spice International Gospel Network, Sign FM, 88.9, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, www.caribbeanvibesradio.com. What's the question? What's the question? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? On a Thursday, I have a great lineup for you, and I'm spending it with you until, what time is it? 8 p.m. Linkage Radio is your budding and buzzing station 24/7, 365 days for the year. Inspirational Zone coming up next. We get our praise on. News Zone, a delayed broadcast of the news courtesy of the Jamaica Information Service. It is Jazz Thursday today. Fast Facts. Teachers are special. From colonial times and into the early decades of the 19th century, most teachers were men. Now, did you know all of that? I don't think so. How are my grandpas, grandmas, aunties, uncles? How are your children doing? How are you doing? Don't forget our telephone number is 914-600-4228, 914-600-4228. It promises to be a great ride this evening, 90 minutes after 6 o'clock. Are you ready to get your praise on? I'm ready to get my praise on. I had a wonderful time in my devotion this morning. I did. And I hope you did too. Good evening, everyone. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez. If someone is celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, somebody. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday. And it's your wedding anniversary. So I'd like to say hi. You're celebrating your anniversary. Welcome to the show. Hello to Pat. Pat is always signing on so early. Good evening, Pat. And don't forget to log on to my YouTube channel. And when you do, please click subscribe and share with someone, okay? I'd like you to share it with them so that they will be able to enjoy the show no matter where you are. Let's get our praise on. Are you ready? I am. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
You will make a way, a way, a way. You have always made a way, God. Oh God, oh God. Some days high and some days low, but I will not give up, no I won't let go. I know God will make a way for me, yeah. Oh, I see troubles on the left, troubles on the right, trusting in you, oh God, I know I'll be alright. I know God will make a way for me. You're the God of the valley, the mountains and the sea. I will not worry. You will make a way for me. Powerful and mighty, you provide all of my needs. Through the storms I will believe that you will make a way for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So even if my eyes can't see, deep down I do believe. If you can part the sea for Moses, you can open doors for me. I know, oh yeah, you will make a way for me. Father, you have never once failed me, kept my family. Jesus, fight for me. You are Jehovah Nissi. You will never Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Tear down the walls of Jericho. So I know you will take good care of me. God of the valley, the mountains and the sea. So I will not worry. You will make a way for me. Powerful and mighty, you provide all of my needs. Through the storms I will believe that you will make a way for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything these answers will prosper. Anywhere you plan me, Lord, that's where I will go. Say you are mighty in power over this world, Lord. You are in control. You're the God of the valley, the mountains and the sea. So I will not worry. I know you will make a way for me. Powerful and mighty, you provide all of my needs. Through the storms I will believe that you will make a way for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, Daddy, you will make a way. 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 I know you will make a way for me. Come on, come on. Say that you will make a way. You will make a way. You will make a way. You will make a way.
Yeah, that's the voice of Jermaine Edwards out of Jamaica, Make a Way. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Center Stage here on Inside of the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Our telephone number is 914-600-4228. 914-600-4228. I'm broadcasting on Linkage Radio this evening, 104.5, 101.7. And, of course, my connecting partners, Sign FM, that's signradio.net, Caribbean Vibes Radio, that's CaribbeanVibesRadio.com, and Touch FM Radio 90.1. Good evening to you, and you. Welcome to the segment News Zone, a delayed broadcast of the news courtesy of the Jamaica Information Service.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, May 6, 2021. For Labor Day 2021, government is calling on Jamaicans to abide by the COVID-19 restrictions under the Disaster Risk Management Act and Labor at Home. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, updated Parliament yesterday and informed Jamaicans that there would be no Labor Day national project this year.
The Prime Minister has already announced that the curfew, which commences at 2 p.m. on Sunday, May 23, will continue until Tuesday, May 25, as there will be an all-day lockdown on Labor Day, Monday, May 24. This means that in keeping with the theme, the public will be asked to stay home and clean up your space.
Labor Day will have two main focuses: ridding homes of conditions or elements that encourage mosquito breeding and starting or restarting your backyard garden. The ministry will be collaborating with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority and the Forestry Department to support planting activities at homes. The theme for Workers' Week and Labor Day is promoting a clean and healthy environment, and the slogan is, this Labor Day, stay home, stay safe, and clean up your space. Workers' Week 2021 will be celebrated from Sunday, May 16 to Monday, May 24. In keeping with the provisions of the Holidays Act, since May 23rd falls on a Sunday, the following Monday, May 24, shall be observed as National Labor Day. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has allocated $100 million for members of Parliament to provide assistance to the poorest and most vulnerable persons in their constituencies.
We have done a realignment because we recognize that it is absolutely urgent. Time cannot be spent dilly-dallying about giving assistance to the poor and the needy. And so we have set aside $100 million to be provided for members to identify and be able to give support for the poor and vulnerable within their constituents.
Minister Samuda was making his 2021-2022 sectorial presentation in Parliament recently. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will be carrying out a thorough inspection of the more than 355 schools that will be opened on May 10 to facilitate face-to-face classes for students sitting exit exams.
To ensure that they have the protocols in place and that they are maintaining them when the children are in attendance.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Parliament Tuesday providing an update on adjustments to the COVID-19 containment measures. He says the Education Ministry will be coordinating transportation support for students to ensure their safety to and from school.
Where there is need for transportation support for students or for families who are experiencing severe financial challenges, this should be communicated to the regional office for special support.
Parents are being advised to provide information on their children's transportation route and distance from school as of May 6 via the Education Ministry's website. Prime Minister Holness says this information will help to finalize specialized support in tandem with the JUTC and Montego Bay Metro. 86 Jamaican inmates have now received their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. The Department of Correctional Services, along with the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department and a medical team from the Jamaica Defence Force, facilitated a mini vaccination exercise at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Centre last Friday. 97 persons were vaccinated in that exercise, including 11 correctional officers. Of the 86 inmates vaccinated, 81 were from Tower Street and 5 from the South Camp Adult Correctional Centre. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is urging judges to use harsh sentences to send a strong message to would-be criminals in cases where egregious crimes are committed. He says the Legal Reform Department at the Justice Ministry is currently working with other ministries to update relevant penalties to allow for more realistic sentences that are in line with the rule of law and international best practices.
The executive and the country are looking to the judiciary to play a significant role in sending the clearest signals to criminals that crime has severe detrimental consequences. This can be accomplished, Madam Speaker, by timely trials, strong pronouncements from the bench, and in appropriate cases, harsh sentences that send a powerful message and an emphatic denunciation of criminal activities.
Minister Chuck was making his contribution to the sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. He argues that for some cases in which there is a guilty plea, there should be concessions for offenders, including reduced sentences, but horrific crimes should attract severe penalties. And finally, Jamaica now has access to a $1.1 million grant from the Green Climate Fund, GCF, to start the country's first national adaptation plan for the current financial year. Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, Pernell Charles Jr., made the announcement during his sectoral presentation in Parliament Tuesday.
This plan will include a private sector engagement strategy, a finance strategy, and an investment plan for adaptation.
He says the ministry will also test the pilot of the local climate adaptive living facility. This program seeks to strengthen municipal corporations' capacity to integrate and finance climate action. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
A delayed broadcast of the news courtesy of the Jamaica Information Service. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez, a Jamaican. Good evening to you. Our telephone number is 914-600-4228, 914-600-4228. I welcome you to the show this evening. What's my theme for today? It's Jazz Thursday. How about some jazz? Right before I get into my fast facts. So it's Jazz Thursday. That's the selection that you'll be hearing throughout the program. And of course, don't forget, at 7 p.m., I kick off my officially May is Child's Month. I SOAR. SOAR is the acronym. I strive to overcome adversities with resilience. My guest at 7 o'clock will be 16-year-old Ethan O'Hara, a sophomore at Cheltenham High School in Pennsylvania. And I want to know so much about him, about his school, about his parents, about his community, what he's doing, where he's going. Isn't that beautiful? And I do have each Thursday for the month of May at 7 p.m. a guest, a child up to 17 years old. Okay? You know, once they get to 18, what happened? Everybody get big. Isn't that true? Don't forget to log on to my YouTube channel, Inside the Zone with Lady D. That's the letter D. This is Linkage Radio, 104.5, 101.7 FM, 6:33 p.m. Are you ready for some jazz? It's my Jazz Thursday. Hey, to all those who are listening over there in the Bronx, you're here in Mount Vernon. I'd like to say hi. And those of you who are tuning in internationally by way of course, my channel and that of Linkage Radio and that of Touch FM Radio and Caribbean Vibes Radio and signradio.net. Can you imagine? You're hearing me somewhere, and I do appreciate you. Want to say hello to those of you who are tuning in on my YouTube channel. So my YouTubers, can you just forward the link I sent to you and say, hey, subscribe. Lady D's on a mission. Her mission is to gain as many of you as possible. I need to get 1,000 subscribers and more, and I'm going to get it done. You are going to be doing it with me, aren't you? Of course. So I need to ramp it up. You know, you have a channel and it's there, but now you realize there's a necessity. It has to be done. So I want to say hi to Ryan Wallace. Good evening, Ryan. And to Pat. And there are other people there. You know, there are people who are like, they're on your veranda, but they haven't stepped into the living room. Yeah. So I want to say hi to those of you who are tuning in. And let's get the show on the road. 6:34 p.m. More music for you. It's my Jazz Thursday. It's my Jazz Thursday. How was that? I think Ryan is enjoying himself right here on the YouTube channel, Inside the Zone with Lady D. You know what I mean? Good evening, everyone. 20 minutes to 7 o'clock. Center Stage is happening. The voice, Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. And right now I'm taking you to my fast facts. Teachers are special. From colonial times and into the early decades of the 19th century, most teachers were men. Just in case you didn't know, I'm bringing you the scoop. From colonial times and into the early decades of the 19th century, most teachers were men. They were, of course, career schoolmasters, but especially in smaller and rural schools. The people who stood in front of the classroom might well be farmers, surveyors, even innkeepers, who kept school for a few months a year in their season. The more educated and ambitious schoolmasters were young men who made the schoolroom a stepping stone on their way to careers in the church or the law. The connections they made with local ministers and school committees in securing teaching jobs often helped them when they moved on to their real professions. Let's talk about the 1820s to the 1830s, the common school era. The grammar school teachers have rarely had any education beyond what they have acquired in the very schools where they have to teach. Their attainments, therefore, to say the least, are usually very moderate. That's a quote from James Carter, education reformer back in 1826. Reformers like Horace Mann had agitated to make schooling more democratic, universal, and non-sectarian. But as new public schools, called common schools, sprang up everywhere, there simply were not enough schoolmasters to staff them. Mann and his fellow reformers like James Carter, Henry Bernard, and Catherine Beecher saw that the schools needed not only more teachers, but better teachers. Many of the most promising young men continued to be siphoned off by more prestigious professions as well as by new industries and the lure of the western frontier. So where would the army of new teachers come from? There was, of course, another ready source of labor, if reformers could convince the public to accept it. Women were poised to take over the classroom. Now in the 1840s, feminization begins. Here's a quote back in 1849 by Littleton School Committee, Littleton in Massachusetts. God seems to have made woman peculiarly suited to guide and develop the infant mind, and it seems very poor policy to pay a man $20 or $22 a month for teaching children the ABCs, when a female could do the work more successfully at 1/3 of the price. Women had long run Let me read that again for you. Women had long run what were called dame schools in their homes for the youngest children. While the dame school teachers were not particularly well educated, they did demonstrate that women could teach. In any case, younger women were becoming better educated. The United States, in fact, had a very high degree of female literacy. The common school reformers seized on the idea of hiring women to teach in the new schools. They cited as women's most important qualification their femininity, the fact that they were women. But they often added, in an aside, that women needed to be paid only 1/3 what men received. The reformers argued that women were by nature nurturing and maternal, as well as of high moral character. As Mann wrote in 1840, the school committee are sentinels stationed at the door of every schoolhouse in the state to see that no teacher crosses its threshold who is not clothed from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot in garments of virtue. Note that man still refers to the teacher as he, though he usually apostolicized on behalf of women. as moral leaders in the schoolroom. Teachers were moral exemplars, the models and instructors of upright living. Even as they granted women moral superiority, reformers quietly worried over women's ability to maintain order in the classroom and discipline unruly children. In many schools, the new school marms were young, some only 14 or 15 years old. They had finished the equivalent of 8th grade, and in some schools, that qualified them to teach. Their pupils might well be taller and older than they, at least when the farm boys put in their periodic appearances in the classroom. 19th century female teachers often complained that teaching was most challenging when the big boys who would either flirt or tease and defy them arrived. The reformers often derided women's intellectual capabilities, yet women were becoming better educated than ever before, and state officials took notice. In this period, most states began to put in place requirements for teachers, basic academic competence and attendance at some institutes for ongoing training. Many, beginning with Massachusetts in 1838, had inaugurated normal schools, institutions devoted to teacher education. Interesting. Just taking you back to a teaching timeline. And you know something? Though it was male dominated, there was no question that the females were just as capable. There was a bit of discrimination and intellectual prejudice, I believe. But here we are today. Women are teaching at all levels. Congratulations, because of course, you know, we are recognizing teachers, and they have a very important role to play. How would I have been able to read all of this? How would I have known my ABCs? Who would have taught me? What would I have done? Isn't that something? So kudos to all the teachers, even when you're stressed and you feel like you're pulling your hair, not to mention this whole online episode. But it has also opened your creativity, hasn't it? It has sparked something in you that you realize, I have to be more engaging, I have to be more interactive, I have to improve on how I present to my students, because I guarantee you, online of anything demands that. Even with my personal platform, I like to fill myself in the space. I've had a YouTube channel, but then I realize, what is the channel? What's the purpose of the channel? So I have to say, come on, Denise, get it together here. No matter what you're doing, at some point, we have to make a checklist, analyze what we're doing. Who is it reaching? What is the importance? What is the focus? Why are we doing what we're doing? So a very pleasant good evening to let me stop by again and say hi to who is new, who is coming on new. I saw Hope, hey Hopi, and I saw Aldith and Beverly. Good evening, Beverly. Good evening. Let me wave. And of course, all my listeners on Touch FM Radio 90.1 and www.caribbeanvibesradio.com, signradio.net, and of course, what would I do without Linkage Radio 104.5, 101.7 FM? My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez, and you're inside the zone this evening. Center stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. And so that's my wrap for Teachers Are Special. Taking you now, of course, to more music. But before I do that, the show is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Narita Avenue in the Bronx.
When you are hungry, come to Cooler Runnings Restaurant. Located at 1802 Nerid Avenue, corner of Wickham Avenue in the Bronx, we specialize in the best Jamaican and American cuisine, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We offer free in-house delivery, minimum $20 purchase, and we also have Uber Eats. We do barbecue Thursdays, fish fry Fridays, and seafood Saturdays. For more information, give us a call for our address and menu, 718-324-7484. Once again, that's 718-324-7484. Cooler Runnings Restaurant, simply the best Jamaican food.
Don't forget, when you step into the restaurant, say, "Hey, Lady D, send me." And you just place your order, 718-324-7484. The number to call me here is 914-600-4228. Say hi. I'm here to wave back and just say, howdy, everyone. Howdy, everyone. Howdy, everybody. Welcome, welcome. As I mentioned, May is Child Month. At 7 o'clock, I have an interview coming up. I strive to overcome adversities with resilience. The acronym SOAR. I'll be speaking with 16-year-old Ethan O'Hara. He's out there in Pennsylvania and a student of Cheltenham High School. And we'll be talking about a whole lot of things because I'm bringing academic excellence to you, of course, so you can know that no matter what's going on, there are children out there who are doing exceptionally well. Want to take you to some more music. Did I tell you it's my Jazz Thursday? You didn't hear? Oh, welcome. Oh, music, man. It's my Jazz Thursday. I got a minute to go. My upcoming segment, May's Child's Month, I soar, I strive to overcome adversities with resilience. It is now 7 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good evening, good evening to you, and you. I go to the phone line to say good evening. Welcome. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you now. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. I'm just listening to the Ethan O'Hara interview that you have.
All right, I'm about to start that at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So you can just sit back, relax, and listen, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. All right, good evening. Who do I have on the line? Hello? Hello?
Are you talking to me, ma'am?
You can hang up now. Thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty. Alrighty, I'll be having my callers calling me, my guests rather. Ethan and his dad should be calling me. So I'd like to say good evening to those of you who are tuning in for the very first time. My name is Denise Lady D Gomez, and you're tuned in to Inside the Zone with the Lady D, broadcast on Linkage Radio 104.5, 101.7, with my connecting partners this evening, signradio.net, Touch FM Radio 90.1, www.caribbeanvibesradio.com. And of course, Ethan. Let me go to the phone line. Good evening to you.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
This is Ethan.
How are you, Ethan?
I'm doing good.
Nice to hear you. Is Dad on the line too?
Yes, I am.
Welcome, Mr. O'Hara. How do you do?
I'm fine.
Are you both hearing me clear enough?
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
you sound like you're a little bit distant on my line, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I think my volumes are all the way up, so I can't extend them anymore. But anyway, welcome to you both, father and son, to the segment May is Child's Month. I soar. I strive to overcome adversities with resilience. And ladies and gentlemen, Child's Month is on the nation's calendar in Jamaica every year, and I'm always featuring Child's Month here on Inside the Zone. And this year I wanted to step it up a notch, and so I have made my connections by way of relationships, and here we are starting out with 16-year-old Ethan O'Hara. But before we do that, don't forget our telephone number is 914-600-4228. That is 914-600-4228. For those of you who are tuning in on the YouTube channel, I'd like you to share the link with someone, spread the word, and when you pop into the room, just subscribe and say, hey, Lady D is about to speak with Ethan. Let's have a conversation. Welcome to the segment. Once again, our telephone number, 914-600-4228.
Child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, you have arrived.
Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself.
You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful introduction. Ethan O'Hara and Florizel O'Hara are online with me, father and son, and I'd like to welcome them to Inside the Zone with Lady D. I'll direct my question to Dad first. Mr. O'Hara, how are you? How are you feeling this evening? How does it feel to have a wonderful, bright, young 16-year-old Ethan?
It's definitely a great feeling. parenting. There's no handbook. There's no manual.
Uh-huh.
So, it has its fair share of challenges. But, when you teach, when you mentor, and it takes fruition, then, it gives you that awesome feeling, because at the end of the day, for us parents, one of the things has to be, it's not about a legacy, it's developing the next generation, and, you want to try to teach them, all you can from your experiences, from your triumphs, from your failures, and hopefully, they can do it just a little bit better than you did and pass it on to their children.
You could not have said it better, because we know there's no manual. So, in Jamaica, as we are growing up and maturing, and we would be wondering why our parents are so hard on us and so on. Once you have children of your own, you're like, oh, Lord, this was really what was happening. But the good thing is that he's with you today, and for that we are so grateful. So I'm going to pat you on the back, and I'm a clapper, I tell everybody. So I'm going to just give you a little clap for all that you have been doing. Ethan?
Yes?
How are you feeling? How is it having a dad like your dad? What is that like?
Well, one of the things is being like, I always forget it because my dad's been here for a while, and he knows a lot about it, but I'm technically first generation, so are the rest of my siblings, so there's a lot of, not cultural difference, but, slight difference in how we, interpret things because of that, because I always forget, with him, he may have, certain things he interprets this way, and I don't understand why he interprets that, and then I'll, sit down later and be like, oh, we had, a difference in whatever, a difference in idea, a difference in thought, because of his background is way different than mine. I just forget that he's been here for a while, so he seems like he knows all about it, and this is not all he knows, cause, we still do, how do I say, customer things, we still hold our customs, but it's we've been here he's been here for a while, so it's I have to remember that there's still a culture, he was raised in Jamaica, so we have that difference.
Yes, I understand. And, something, Florizel, I notice Ethan keeps repeating that you've been here for a while. I'm assuming he means, that you're a gentleman of a certain age, and that it comes with a lot of experience, right?
I mean, you can interpret it that way.
So, Lord of mercy. So, Florizel, I think he's saying that you're old, but we will just skip over that, right? But let's get, so that's a light moment. Thank you both for that. Now, I am mirroring the theme I Soar, and it's an acronym. Strive to overcome adversities with resilience. And Ethan, it's all about you this evening. Your daddy's here for support. But I know that you're 16 years old and you are a sophomore at Cheltenham High School in Pennsylvania. At 16, what is that like?
So Cheltenham, I'd say it's one of the better schools I've been to over the years because I've had to move around a lot because of my dad's job and him being deployed. But I guess it wasn't the best for a young kid, I guess you could say. But I made the best of it by it taught me how to adapt to my surroundings and be good with people. So Cheltenham was good for me because it was how do I put it? I didn't really have to adapt to much. There's some new stuff, but it was it's very inclusive. It's very nice. There's a lot of new clubs there. There's good funding that goes to the school. We have good sports teams. It's really nice there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I like is that they have this. It's newer, but they have this push towards STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, and STEAM and the arts. So they have really good programs, and I'm going to be possibly attending one, which is their sort of trade school that the juniors and seniors get to go to for half their days. They go to a different bus at lunchtime to go to it. Depending on if you want to go in the morning or evening. So it's really nice there.
And what are your strengths academically?
I'd say reading comprehension, mathematics, science, and sociability. So I'm really good at teaching other people things if they don't get it, because I interpret things a little bit differently. So I always usually like, some teachers are usually cool with it, but there's been a few like out in the whatever, not in Cheltenham specifically, but who didn't like that, like I did math a different way, like I do. I know like in Jamaica, like usually people like learn to like the quick math, like they have their like tables memorized. But my dad tried to do that for years, and I just couldn't get it.
Yes.
So I memorized it like by, say it was like 40, I don't know, like 40 times 4. I wouldn't have to do it, but it'd be like 4. It'd be like 20 times 2, or like I just divided by like something like 30 times 3, 1 times 10, and just add it.
So you think that's a quicker method, easier method?
For like in my head, like whenever I tried that, my dad's method, it doesn't work for me. But in my head, I can just get it fast. Maybe a little bit slower, but like fast enough.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, it works nevertheless. And how are you in terms of your discipline? Because I know now with the COVID on, thankfully the restrictions are being lifted, and sooner or later. By the way, are you still online, or you go to school now?
I do half. Wednesday is still an asynchronous day, but Wednesday's an asynchronous day, meaning I don't go in and I don't have classes, but I have work to do, and I don't have as much work, but I can do it with my teachers. I can schedule meetings and things if I need to with my counselors, teachers, all that. And Monday and Tuesday are asynchronous days. So like I have classes, but I don't go in because I'm a cohort B, so I go in on Thursday and Friday. But I could end up going into class on Monday and Tuesday, because for me, learning in the classroom is a lot easier because I get distracted very easily. So I would say I wasn't very disciplined before. It was like my dad was always telling me, like, he'd say it, and I'd be like, sure, old man. He was like, one of these days, school's going to get hard for you. And I was like, ha, 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 I'm so great at school. That is your fault. You taught me too well. I can skate through school. And then I stopped skating. I slipped a little bit. But it was good for me because it gave me a taste of, like, self-sufficiency, like complete self-sufficiency. Not complete, but, like, minimal help, like a college-type setting. But, like, I can't have friends type thing. But, like, I can't have friends, but you can't hang out with them. And it was like, I learned one of my strengths was, because I couldn't hang out with them, it was hard to do, but I learned better in a group setting, and I do things better in a group setting. So I learned when I was trying to work out again after a little bit of slacking off, because I was on the track team, that I don't like running, but I like running with my friends. It's a little paradoxical, and I don't like studying. It's hard for me to study. I like studying with my friends. But to anyone who's struggling at home, I'd recommend, I learned this at this place for like learning like school coping stuff, like how to do better in school. Specifically, this is music helps if you don't need to hear it, but if you do need to hear it, I like fidget, or like if I just really can't focus, like that mood, you're just looking at the page, you read the page, and like, oh, what did I just read? You read it, and you just can't read it. Take a break, go work out, video games, whatever you're like most. I'd say it's hard to describe a fulfilling hobby is. So, like, video games, some people may say no, but, like, it depends on the type of game. So if it's mindless, maybe, but, like, a puzzle game, you may like something that stimulates your brain,
right?
But, like, gives you a break from school. So it can be really anything. Working out helps. Something that produces dopamine, which is a chemical that lets you study. I found that out.
Wonderful.
Dopamine and norepinephrine.
Well, thank you for articulating that so well for us, because there are young people who are listening and they are pulling their hair, literally, if they have any, because it's so hard for them to adapt, to this new way of learning. And because I was going to ask you, what is your discipline level like? And I was going to ask Dad if he has had to, be saying, come on, Ethan, man, you need to step up your game.
Definitely. I'd say my discipline level on average is like, I'd say very low. I'd say below 5. But I'm not sure if you know this, like if this was my father already told you, but I have this thing called ADHD, which is like attention deficit hyperactivity, but it's basically just like I interpret information differently. So it's like it doesn't make me any I don't say it makes me any smarter, but I think quickly, but it's hard for me to focus on things. So I think a lot and I talk a lot, but it's hard for me to focus and hone down. But certain things help me like hone down, because it's hard for me to focus, but it's easy. So like if I really like something, like a book. I've done this before. I read the whole entire Harry Potter series in one night, and my mom was like, Ethan, it's time to go to school. And I was like, school? was like, what? And I looked outside. It was bright outside, and I had to go to school. I fell asleep the whole day.
Oh, my
It's like I have to like check myself and balance what I'm doing because I can like slip into this losing time of like focusing. And sometimes it's good for me because I'm very artistic, so I like instruments, music, singing, and drawing, painting, shoes, all that stuff, like painting shoes and doing that sort of stuff. So like on the weekends in the summer, it's really good because I can focus myself. But I've been trying to learn how to like intentionally slip into that zone of school because I can do it, but it's way harder at home because like usually the teacher gets me engaged, but at home it's kind of easier once you know how to engage yourself.
Yes.
I can put myself in that like whatever, and I don't have to rely on the teacher teaching well.
Oh, well, I commend you, Ethan. Yes, I commend
Another
you.
really good tip, if you have like a computer at home, recording the things, because you'll just be like, and you'll look away, you'll just look at the wall. It's a simple wall. And you'll look back, and now the whole entire equation is done, and the class is over. And you're like, okay, well, time to go look up how to do that math problem and the whole entire unit. So recording the classes helps if you frequently zone out or you find it hard to focus because you can like skip, watch back, pause, play like it's a video. You can reference it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining me, 17 minutes after 7 o'clock, my name is Denise Lady D. Gomez. Welcome to May is Child Month. I SOAR. The acronym, strive to overcome adversities with resilience. My guest this evening, 16-year-old Ethan O'Hara, a sophomore at Cheltenham High School in Pennsylvania, alongside his dad, Florizell O'Hara. And I just learned, Ethan, about the ADHD, but it didn't even make a difference because you are focused, you're sharing about yourself, how you have managed to structure, your application in order to learn and to retain and to execute. Now, your dad, and so I thank you for sharing that for us. I also wanted to ask you about your interaction with your community because I was privileged to receive a short snippet of a video sent to me by your dad, and you were out in the community and having a conversation. So tell me, what was that about? And are you community oriented? What is yes? Share that for me.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. Sorry. I sometimes I like forget what I'm saying, so I like try to respond so I can like get it out there and like reform if I need to, like keep the dot going. But honestly, what you're saying in the beginning, that's one thing I'm a big advocate of. I know a lot of other kids, and it happens to black kids as well. It's a big problem. They're underdiagnosed for ADHD, and ADHD isn't like you're going to be dumb for the rest of your life, whatever. Because like I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I've been put in the gifted classes since I was younger. It's because I grew up. I was like not trained, but like they gave me fun ways to learn, and they didn't force it on me, but they gave me options to choose what I liked, and that's the problem with a lot of kids. Why they don't like reading. It's like they get forced into it, and they like, oh yeah, I hate reading, and then they figure out there's good books, and it's like already like, well, my reading level is like really down, and that sort of thing. So like, it's really about how you approach it, and it can be a strength and a disadvantage. I won't say it's like a super. Some people say it's super. I'd say it's a double-edged sword. It's like a flail. If you know how to use a flail, it's really cool, and it's a pretty cool weapon. But if you don't know how to use a flail, it's a little difficult to use, and I'm so sorry. What was your second question?
That's all right. So I was saying that, how are you interacting with the people in your community? Because I got a video of you talking to somebody.
Thank you.
That's all right. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
So, community-wise, so what I things I've done in my personal community of I'm in the like Lamont area. I've been like trying to interact with the community garden. So there's a community garden like right down the street, and I think it's really cool. But there's not a lot of people planting on it. And I'd like to like get a plot and like start planting stuff because I really like greenery, and I'd like to eventually move some into my own room when I redecorate it because I'm about to. And I don't want to like just bring plants in and they all like pass away. So I've done a lot. I've done a little gardening with my mother, but I never really got into it. And it's one of those things where I thought it was cool, but I just never had the time, place. And now that I'm older, more disciplined, I know I could sit down and do it because I'd be interested in that. But when I was a younger boy, I wouldn't be interested in like planting soil and stuff, kind of, but not for long. And the other community stuff is I like to, on a small and large scale, help my community because I realize there's a lot of issues going on systemically. But I realize that also people don't know about too many of the issues that are locally. like black on black crime is something we know about, but oftentimes we focus on the sorry, I struggle with these words. Statistics.
Yes.
Oftentimes we struggle with the statistics of like the things, and that draws away from the attention of why are they happening, and how is our incarceration, all that, how is it fixing into that, how are we fueling into that, and is it really helping? And how can we look at other countries and other places and how they do it better, and how can we look at other cities and how they do it better, how they lower their whatever. And one of those was the woman I was talking to. She was talking about a peer-to-peer system of like teaching kids how to code. And that happens to be one of my, I'd say, my mentor would say, jack of all trades traits. I like to learn a lot of things. I'm not a master at all of them, but if I really like it, I will master it. And coding is one of those things that's been off and on for me, but in the recent years, I've gotten really into it. And coding is something that I know if I was teaching children, I'd be really into it, and I'd like on my own time just research a lot of it to get them to learn and help them learn. Because I love seeing like bright minds, and I reminded me of when I was younger, and I love learning. And I don't want to be a bad influence on those bright minds and like ruin their opportunity to learn, like some other people when they get forced to do stuff they don't like. I want to help shape the education around them, not fit them into the education, because it's a better way to teach them.
Well, way to go, Ethan. I am so proud of you. So, Dad, are you still on the line? Hello?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
I am enjoying a conversation here with Ethan because it tells us that the sky's the limit for him. There are no boundaries. He's willing to just, as we say, soar to new heights. And I mean, how are you feeling about him? Because, you know, I'm not even zooming in on the ADHD because now that I'm actually speaking to a child who has that, I wouldn't even know, really. So what is the next level for him with your support?
So as long as Ethan has, because one of the things with the COVID is Ethan, he's in a lot of clubs. He's even in I think it's called the Women's Student Union, because they wanted a boy to bring a different perspective on the club. Boy Scouts, he's in Boy Scouts.
I hear that.
He's in he does plays, musicals, all that stuff. So the next level is really just getting him ready, keep him focused, getting him out of high school and getting him into college. And that community thing come about where, we live a little bit outside of Philadelphia in the suburb, but I always want to keep him grounded. So I kind of took him into the old neighborhood where I went to school, and my high school is not even around anymore. The building is up for sale. So I just give them the other perspective, and we just happened to run into a community food locker that they set up because so many people are unemployed because of COVID. And Ethan, as you can tell, he's an engaging force. He loves to talk to people. And we just happened to meet one of the organizers, and a conversation struck up, and we realized they're looking at starting a new initiative to teach kids how to, computer stuff and how to code, and so he's in the process of taking on that objective and going into the community and giving back to some young African American kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're wrapping up in a few minutes, but Ethan, now that you have shared a little bit about who you are with us, because I am sold. Right, I'm sold on I'm sold on all the things that you're able to do. In wrapping up, how will you be able to counsel a child your age or even younger about sticking with their dream? And that will be my last question for you in our interview.
So hold on, let me take a deep breath on this one because I have to think a little bit. So I think part of not the issue, but like what we don't realize when we teach the younger generation, we try to like pass on what we know, but oftentimes in like the age of technology and the age of advancement, we're progressing faster and faster and faster. So sometimes by the time we give them the knowledge that helped us succeed, it's now like outdated or not the greatest knowledge to pass on. So like, for example, college being the best option, and college is a good option if you can afford it. And with college hiking up and like the percent that people's wages are increasing, their inflation not going up as much, it's now only a privileged option. So if you can't afford it, yes, but like it's not always the best. But that doesn't mean you can't succeed, because Bill Gates, all of them, they didn't go to college or they dropped out, right? But what people don't talk about is they're studying. So you don't have to go to a school to study. One of the best ways you can do, what I'm trying to do with art, is figure out what they teach, and they teach pillars, like pillars of education. So like for art, it's like perspective, anatomy, that stuff, and figure out the pillars of what you're supposed to learn, and then on your own research it. But one of the best things is to just be honest with yourself. So like, don't try to tell yourself, oh, I can study for 4 hours straight. If you can't study for 4 hours straight, because I know I can. I need to take breaks in between that. But if you can, do that. There's no one education method that works for anyone, and that's part of why I like how my school operates. They have this program called PBL, and if you don't have it in your school, you should try and push for it if you want it. It's called project-based learning, and I may be switching to it, but it's you learn based on projects that interact with the real world, and that's how you get your grade. And you also, at the end of the year, you have to do like an internship for a big company. And it's really, it's like a newer project, so I didn't immediately jump on it. But if school is still as isolated, I may end up doing that. That way I can like better help myself in isolation.
Yeah. Well. Again, bravo. Thank you so much, Ethan. You have delivered, and I'm about to hand you your award. You did so good. And to wrap up now, Ethan, I just have a quick game with you. I need one answer, okay? I'm asking you something. I just need a one answer. It seems somebody wants to say hi. Let me just run to the phone line. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Ethan is clever.
He is. He is absolutely.
Oh my God. I am sold. That guy have no HDAD, whatever they call it. That's a professor in the living world.
Absolutely. Ethan, you hearing that?
A professor in the living world. That great job. I haven't heard a young kid sit down with adult and have a conversation like this in a million years.
True. I told him I'm sold. I told him I'm sold.
Man.
Yes. Who is calling?
Ethan, I'm sold. I want to be a student in Ethan's class. I don't mind he's being my professor.
Absolutely. Who is calling?
Great job, Ethan. Great job. Stop at nothing, my good sir. Stop at nothing. You're going to be more than president. Everyone to talk about being the president, but trust me, you can run the world without the presidency. Trust me. I'm sold, and I'm 50 years old.
Yes. And do you mind saying who you are? You mind sharing your name with us?
Lady D, I just sent you my name.
Oh, you did? Oh, Lord. Okay.
Ryan Wallace.
Oh, Ryan. Sorry. Sorry, Ryan. My apologies. Welcome, Ryan. But yes, I thank you for really calling to, big him up and, tell him keep going. Because just listening.
The energy is there, Lady D. The energy is there.
I agree.
Ethan, you continue with that energy, my son. Continue with that same energy. Trust me. Daddy's going to sit back and wonder.
Thank you,
Ryan. One of the biggest thing in this country I hate, how they give these whatsoever the shortcomings are with kids, and they give it these names, and everyone, when they give it a name, it intends to wind people into a pity pot. But then when you see people bursting out of these pity pot, you have to lift them up, because trust me, Ethan, I can't pick up nothing there.
I will say my struggles, I do struggle often, but part of it is using their definition to help your struggle. Like there's this DSM-5, and it like lists what I most likely struggle with, and that has helped me by going off that fix my own problems, because they'll be like, oh, this is literally what I struggle with. How do the scientists recommend, like, how do I help with it? They'll be like, oh, listening to music helps me focus. I did not know that. I like music, but I never tried to listen to it while I study, because that'd be weird.
Yes.
Like things like that. So the classifications may be a pity pot, but you can also use them as a source of strength to find resources to help yourself.
Thank you so much.
Trust me, boy, you don't know what you just said a while ago, Lady D.
Yes.
For years, I've been a kid from being in Jamaica. I cannot do nothing. I can't stay still very much, and I can't go without some music ringing in my ears. And I'm 50 years old now, and I'm moving. I'm coming from the days of that Sony Walkman with cassette. Now I have an iPod, and I cannot travel on the train. I can't walk on the road. I can't ride the bus without it. Even if I'm going to miss the bus, I'm not leaving my house without my iPod.
Yes.
So Ethan, trust me, you're a professor. Right there.
All righty. Thank you,
Because
Ryan.
I think I have the same problem too. Can't focus without the music.
Yes. Well, Ryan, I thank you so much. I thank you so much because I do have an upcoming segment in a few minutes, but I want to thank you.
Yes, Lady D, you run along.
Yes, blessings, Ryan. Thank you. So, Ethan.
All right, Ethan and Dad, be good now.
All right. So, Florizel.
Yes.
All right. I want to thank you for agreeing to have Ethan join me here on Inside the Zone. May is Child Month. I appreciate it. And Ethan, you got your big ups. So, we hope to hear great things from you as the days and the months and the years, progress.
I don't think I've gotten a compliment so direct in a while, because when I was younger I used to get them, but now I'm kind of more in my shell. I do stuff, but I don't put my education out there. But I do have some artistic but progressive, political-ish, like my causes that I want to support, movements going in. I want to use my art as a medium to help expose that.
Yes.
There's certain things people don't talk about enough.
And
so yes, I do.
Thank you so much. And Florizel, the YouTubers are bigging you up and saying that you have a very integral role to play in, Ethan's academic excellence and just who he is as a young man. So we thank you so much. I strive, it's all about SOAR. I strive to overcome adversities with resilience. Thank you so much for joining me here on the show this evening, gentlemen, and a lot of love and blessings to you both.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, and all this was made possible. Of course, you have to build on your relationships. So I want to say thanks to Dr. Karen Dunkley. It's Dr. Dunkley. I reached out to her. I said, hey, this is what I'm doing for the month of May. Who can you recommend? And she gave me 2. I started out with Ethan. And so I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to the segment. Coming up now, ladies and gentlemen, is, of course, Know the Facts with Delia Farquharson. Stick and stay with me. Don't go anywhere. We're wrapping up nice and easy here on the show. All right, I'm running to the phone line. Who do I have on the phone line this evening?
Good evening, Lady D. Quick and fast, because I was holding on until I cut off. That young man deserves a medal.
Yes, ma'am. He does.
Oh, my gosh. Lady D, keep up the good work. And his dad need, for the I can't even place the word, that the effort that the dad is putting out, and to go along with him, because most parents now, they want the child to be doctors, lawyers, and all those things that they don't dream of doing for themselves. And I just want to give the young man a big up.
Yes, of
and
course.
Also his dad.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night, lady.
Blessings to
blessed.
you, my young lady. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Lady D.
Good evening, Glovia.
Oh, Easton did a phenomenal job.
Yes, he did.
That was good. Oh, I got to give him 200% for he was so great. Brilliant.
He was.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blessings to you. All right, who do we have on the line? Hello? Yes.
Hello, Lady D.
Good evening.
It's Delia Farquharson.
Yes, Councilwoman, how are you? Welcome to the segment, Know the Facts with Delia Farquharson.
I've been waiting.
Yes.
So I have to tell you, Lady D, let me just tell you right away that I am at the Boys and Girls Club of Mount Vernon, and I'm sitting here with our brightest and our best. Well, a group of teens that we've spent the last 40 minutes or so talking about wellness and talking about the conditions in our community. So can I ask them to say hello?
Of course, please. Hello, guys.
And Miss Sandy Narain is the teen coordinator for the Boys and Girls Club. She's here as well.
Hi, Miss. Good evening to you. How do you do? How are you?
Right. So I told them I needed to leave. We were involved in a really important discussion about the conditions of the community through the lens of wellness. And one of the teen, our teen of the year actually, suggested that I do the call from here with all of them.
Of course, and that makes a lot of sense.
So here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So say hello, teen of the year, okay, Sean. Jaquel, I'm sorry.
Hey, my name is Jaquel Hancock. I'm the youth of the year of the Boys and Girls Club.
Hey, young Mr. Hancock, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good, you?
I'm well. I'm so happy to have all you guys there, saying hi to me. I'm feeling kind of special over here.
Yes. So, Lady D, I know our conversation this evening was centered around wellness.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you that I've just had a serious discussion with these young people about the state of the well-being of their well-being in our community, the state of crime, the fact that they don't have access to the resources, the parks and green spaces in our community, the fact that they feel unsafe, that a young man was killed today that some of them went to school with and they know, and the kind of trauma that these children are being exposed to, these young people are being exposed to on a daily basis is unconscionable, right? And it's demonstrating the failure of the adults, because that's what Javon said, that that we are failing because we've had these promises year after year, decade after decade, and nothing is happening for these young people. So they are looking to us, the adults, the elected, the appointed people in this community,
yes,
to address the needs.
And it is so desperately needed. It is relevant, it is essential, and the meeting of the minds need to come together and decide what they're doing. Here in Mount Vernon, I come into Mount Vernon twice a week, or if I have to come here over the weekend to go on 4th Avenue, what have you. But I've always been paying attention to what is not in effect. The lack of the activities, the centers for young people and for the city of Mount Vernon. And I know in your capacity as councilwoman in the city council for Mount Vernon, you've been advocating a lot. Now, based on your profession and so on, you're always thinking about the mental health and, enriching a person's life mentally and socially and all of that. But now that you are on this mission of emotional wellness, and it started from May 2nd and it will be ending on the 8th. And your theme, Arising with Strength and Hope. And today you are where you are with these young people, says a lot. Now, when was the last time, I could ask you, when was the last time, Councilwoman, there was what they call, what that meeting is called, a town hall meeting where people would gather together and share their concerns about their community?
Right. So, I think a lot of it has been interrupted by COVID. Would you agree, guys? Yeah, COVID has interrupted a lot of it. But in Bureau had something 2 days ago for boosting the community. So how many of you participated in that? Right. So we haven't had one recently, Lady D. But one of the things I'm sensing here is that these strong young people that we have here at the Boys and Girls Club, that they are motivated to pull and to push our elected to do that, to respond to their needs, right? To say, we want our needs addressed. And so you're right that it needs to be done. We had My Brother's Keeper launched in Mount Vernon. I don't know how I mean, anybody here a part of My Brother's Keeper in the high school? Right.
So, Councilwoman, we can't hear, we can't hear their response to your question.
Right. So just one at a time. Miss Lady, you want to hear. Right.
We're not hearing him, Councilwoman.
Right. So we don't have. So the answer, Lady D, the short answer is we have not had a forum. It's desperately needed, and the young people are saying that even those things that are in the community, that it's not open to everyone. Right? Am I hearing that correctly? It's not open to everyone, and people are selected, in particular ways.
Yes.
So it's something that's needed in our community.
Now, when was the last time, if I may ask, young people pooled themselves together with someone like yourself or someone in authority and with influence who actually stopped door to door to say, hey, we are here, come join us?
Right. So one of the things, again, that, they have addressed our city council before. This group of young people have addressed our city council before. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see them again, hopefully not in the far future. We will see them again addressing the city council and saying what the needs are, what they see as the needs that the elected and the appointed people in this community needs to do to meet the needs of the young people. And not just them. Right?
Yes.
Like I said, one of their peers got killed today, 2 shots to the chest, and he's no more. 17 or 18 years old.
Oh, good. So now there's a dark cloud over the city.
He said it's a gang war going on.
Kids do go out sing and stuff like that, hang around that. People don't even go there to play basketball because they're scared they're going to get, they're going to die, they're going to get stabbed, they're going to get shot. The other day, they had a memorial for a famous rapper that passed away, and they got shot up. I believe 3 people was hit.
Yeah.
And you set the gate on fire.
Which gate?
They set the rap on fire, they do all the crazy stuff in the park that people forget about. And so it's just like, don't worry about it.
Right. So it's, and all of this is unacceptable, right?
Of
like
course.
It doesn't happen in healthy communities. So this is a reflection of our ill health, right? Of our need to increase the level of well-being in our community. That's why wellness matters.
Yes.
Because you shouldn't go to the park and somebody's setting the gate of the park on fire.
No way.
You shouldn't go to the park and somebody's setting the grass in the park on fire. That's unacceptable.
So recreation or recreational activities are being,
Absolutely.
Yes,
and
targeted.
What happened just now? They sold the YMCA building. The YMCA building, which is a building that was owned by the city, that could have been reclaimed and rehabilitated to be a comprehensive community center, was sold. And what do we give our children? We also have a steel building down at the Memorial Field that's being renovated. That building was going to also be reclaimed as a center of sorts for young people and for the community. Now the county is saying that we need to get rid of that building, and they're giving us 48 hours to take it down.
Oh dear.
The steel frame building down at Memorial Field?
know
you
it.
see that it's got a roof? Yeah, so we were going to finish that as a center, and now they're saying it needs to be removed. So we.
A lot of these places to businesses and stuff like that.
Councilwoman, could you have them come a little closer when they're speaking?
They're turning a lot of these buildings into businesses and stuff for the town and stuff like that, but no one is turning it into places for kids and children to go after school to stay safe and off the streets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So no resources for our children. And we must be investing in our young people. We must be investing in them and demonstrating to them that we care, right? If we are not doing that, then we're failing them. We are literally failing these young people. And we have... So the city council makes a lot of these decisions. So people... Yeah, that's why Mr. Rain was saying that when the votes happen as to sell the YMCA, I am the one that voted no. Everybody else voted yes. So when we have the meeting, the city council is there. Yes, when we have the meeting, you address the city council. Okay, so where are we going to go there?
We're all going to dress up. We're all going to dress up.
So they're going to go to the city council meeting, Lady D.
Okay.
But what it is that we must encourage. He's showing, there's another young man here showing a picture of them lighting the park on fire.
That's just,
so it's kind of,
oh my God. Because now you say to yourself, so if you destroy all the recreational areas and facilities, you're now having your children to run wild without anywhere to go.
And I feel like these are things that the kids are doing within the city, because Mount Vernon has a lot of gang areas and areas that were made for kids and things like that are being taken over by gang affiliated people. So once they're being taken over, it's like the only way for us kids to get them taken back is to run wild within their area, because they know they can't do anything, or to destroy their territory.
And that's the war.
And that's a war. And they know that they can't murder us and things like that, because they don't want to go to jail for murder on a kid.
Right.
So
Councilwoman...
I feel like a lot of these things happen because, to go back to what I said earlier about how we don't have enough sensors and stuff like that, because if I bet you those kids running around having the wars and these kids dying every day on these streets, if they had another Boys and Girls Club or another place or Brothers Keeper and they was reaching out and trying to get these kids into these programs, or just trying to build another community center for these kids to go, half of this violence and stuff was like youth gangs and stuff like that are happening and stuff like that. It wouldn't be happening if we had centers to send our youth somewhere.
Yes. How old are you, may I ask?
17.
You're 17. And...
Here's our clapping man.
Pardon me? Yes. Because you are advocating on their behalf.
That's our youth of the year. That's our youth of the year.
Jaquel,
not King John.
Jaquel.
Your name is Jaquel?
Yes, Jaquel.
Jaquel. Well,
so Lady D, so, you see, Lady D, that the need is here. The need is great. Our young people, they can articulate, they can explain, they understand better than I, as the elected, exactly what's going on and exactly what the needs are. So we should be looking to them to lead us towards the solution.
Absolutely.
We don't understand. I mean, I think it's time for adults also to have a sense of humility and to be at a place. It's hard for kids to listen to and accept what adults say when we don't respect their voices.
Right.
It is so important for us to understand and respect their voice, because it is their world we're trying to be caretakers of.
Yes.
And frankly, adults do not understand the landscape in which the children of today live. We do not. So to claim that we can fix things and make things work for them, it's a little crazy to do it without asking them and without getting them involved
and having them lead us.
I agree with you. And that's exactly what my guest earlier, Ethan, alluded to. That we try to impose on them what we knew when we were growing up, but now it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Things are not work. It does not work. It doesn't
and
work.
Adults, they don't, and a lot of them, they don't listen or take time out of day to listen to you.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you know what this is. It's a company. It's called UNICEF, and they did a study in 2020, and they found that out of 38 countries, the United States ranked 36. Mind you, we are the wealthiest country in the world, and we rank so low
in child well-being.
Child well-being. And you have to understand it. And they said they agree with us. UNICEF said if they did listen to child and youth and let them speak up, that it will be the United States will be way better off. And a lot of cities, a lot of towns, a lot of countries. I mean, a lot of states in the United States or Mount Vernon, they don't listen to the youth, and you don't have kids going to these city council meetings speaking up because they're not taught to come speak up. They're not taught, and half of these kids on the streets right now running the streets, running wild because they don't know they don't know that they're able to speak up and make a change and stand up together.
They don't know that they matter.
Yes, Jekyll.
And them not knowing that matter because if they don't stand up and make sure and let people know that there is a problem, no one's gonna know there is a problem. And if you don't know there's a problem, you can't fix a problem that no one knows about.
That's true.
So, Radar has. So, what is your opinion on the matter, Radar?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just think that, I think. A lot of things happen, my friend. I think the city don't care about the playgrounds at all. I think even though we try to tell them like to fix them, the courts and try to make it like healthier for us to play at and like a safer place to play at, they don't listen to us at all. I feel like there should be some type of maybe cameras at the parks. Maybe like it'll be like a better idea. So like if a situation happens, they have cameras to go into the park to see what happened.
For security.
I just think it just needs to be a little bit more safer in the parks.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So, Councilwoman, you. Oh, what's your name?
Keyshawn Nicholas.
Keyshawn, nice
And-
meeting you.
Yes. And sometimes I feel like they're worried about the wrong thing. I mean, there's some good things we've done, like in Mount Vernon. Like we went to like a week ago. What was it? Tree planting?
Oh yeah.
No, was it a week ago?
Yeah, our day.
We went to a tree planting. That's good and all, but it doesn't really go on the main. It doesn't really look at the main thing that's happening. Main issue. We can plant a tree. Anyone can plant a tree, but we need. But there's just too much. We have to worry about more stuff like the kids getting off the street, stuff like that. And I know it's like us saying the same thing over and over, the kids being on the streets, but it's just really something that needs to be looked at. Instead of planting a tree, we need, let's say, more cops on said blocks. And I know that's possibly not easy with how Mount Vernon is right now, but there just has to be something we can do, something anyone can do to get more cops on the streets and have them protected.
Yes.
Because one of my friends said, Jaquel said, only 1 out of 5 cop cars has guns in it, right? What? 1 out of... Say it.
So there's a study with the Mount Vernon police, and they're saying how dangerous the streets are. That are 1 out of 5 civilian citizen cars have a gun in it. Illegal. Yeah, doesn't have a legal gun in it. They don't have a legal gun. It's like illegal gun. Yeah.
So that just needs to be looked into and all.
So like add on to that, to what Keyshawn said. Hi, I'm Jaden. I feel like the police response within Mount Vernon, because we have so little of police officers, like an average police officer within New York City responds to a scene between the minutes of 3 and 5 minutes. In Mount Vernon, it takes roughly a squad car to respond to a scene to about 10 to 20 minutes. So, no, that's actual facts. So what if, God forbid, let's say somebody's house is being broken into, and we call the cops? It's going to take them 20 minutes to respond to my house? As to where in New York City, if New York City police officers were called, it would take them 3 to 5 minutes to respond to a breaking in.
Yes.
So those are things that need to be worked on, like getting more police officers, getting better official, more up-to-date equipment. We have 1 canine officer for 4.6 miles, 4.4 miles, square miles, and he has to provide 95
to about 99.9% of the equipment that he needs for his dog. Besides the car, he's the one who has to pay for food for his dog. He's the one who had to pay to put all the proper equipment for him to be able to bring his dog home. So these are things that Mount Vernon is lacking that we need to work better to get.
I thank you for your statistics. I thank you for sharing all of this, because I don't think a lot of people living in this city knows, and they perhaps don't know because when there is a meeting convened, they are not present. Councilwoman?
Yes. Thank you, Lady D.
Thank
you for giving these young people
Of course, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Councilwoman, I think we have a caller. Let's see. Good evening. Do we have someone on the line with us? Hello? Okay. Yes, Councilwoman, I thank you so much for, just making the transition into this discussion this evening, because it is well needed.
I
People
think it's
need to
important
hear.
for us
Yes.
to hear from our young people, and these young people are our future leaders. They are really working hard to do the right thing, and we must support them, encourage them, and acknowledge that they're doing the right thing so that they can continue to do even more of it.
Yes. Well, I thank you so much as always. Oh, how time has gone by.
Lady.
We have 3 minutes to go, but thank you, Councilwoman, and I wish
thank you.
I wish all our young people will get on board and start advocating for what is right to make their lives, the city in which they live, better.
Thank you. They will. They will.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. Take care, lady.
Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I got 3 minutes to go. What an evening. You hear the voice of our young. And they're not lying. We tend to argue based on our foundation, what we were taught, how we know things to go. It really doesn't fit in this world that they are living and growing in. If you pay any attention at all and have to interact with them, half the time you're telling them, well, when I was growing up, they're like, what that mean? They can't relate. It's not the same. It is not the same. And we have to somehow try to adjust. And we'll take a standoff and say, oh no, listen, oh no, yes, hard, and all kind of stuff. But we have to relate, find that language to be able to communicate with them, to reach them. Because they don't know it no other way. They don't. I'm telling you, if you pay attention, they don't know it no other way. They look at you strange and you're looking at them as like, why you don't get it? So it's a very contentious situation that we're having here, trying to socialize with each other. 1 minute to 8 o'clock. Of course, today was my Jazz Thursday here on Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. And I just want to say thanks to all those who joined me this evening. Thanks to Eaton and his dad, Florizel, for being a part of May is Child Month. And I just loved how Councilwoman just dropped in the flow. And it worked. So thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to being back here on Monday with the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. Good evening, Grace, Auntie Philly, Beulah Brown. Good evening, Andrea, Aldith, Ryan. You call and you just blew me out of the water. Princess Hortense Small, DJ Apache, and who else? Garnet and Pat and Aldith, and all you guys, Beverly, Gordon, popped in, Hope, and I thank you so much. And don't forget, please subscribe to the channel. I am aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers because it means something. It has to happen. Okay, so help me build. Share the link with someone and say, hey, just subscribe. And each time I'm broadcasting, I'll pop up literally in your device. So gotta go, everyone. Gotta go. Thanks to Of course, Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx, for sponsoring the show this evening. And to CaribbeanVibesRadio.com, as well as SignRadio.net, Touch FM Radio 90.1. This is Inside the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez, another edition of Center Stage. As always, love yourselves, love your children, and remember, in everything you do, it is the will of God concerning your life. Happy Mother's Day, moms, when it comes, because the hands that rock the cradle also makes the house a home. It is a prayer of the mother that keeps the family strong. Mother rises early in the morning and bathes her day in prayer. She talks to God about her family and places them in His care. Mother communicates her love in 1,000 different ways. When there's a need, she's there, whether it is night or day. Mother seasons life with love and gives so much of herself. God placed her the best He had and made her unlike anyone else. When challenges come our way and when trials block our view, Mother kneels down beside her bed and prays the family through. Mother is God's special creation. She's a light shining in the dark, illuminating the path for her family and pointing them toward God. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. I mean, mommies across the globe. We wish you a wonderful and blessed Mother's Day from yours truly, Lady D, Denise Gomez, here inside the zone. I am out of here. Mwah.
And we have the tool. Yeah, man, Sanchez, I keep it locked.